I just want to highlight a movement exercise. Now, generally when we use foam roller, most people use it on their legs. If you see any type of athlete, recreational athlete, or even just a Joe Bloggs who gets tight from whatever everyday stresses of life and everything. Now, not a lot of people use it on their forearm. Now, if you're in a manual job, it could be sports massage, it could be a manual labouring job, you do a lot of digging, or just generally in a job that you use your hands a lot. And then this can be in a supermarket, it can be typing if you're in an office. Overuse injuries are for things that the body are not designed to do, for doing hours and hours of a particular movement. Now, as you can see from this, now this foam roller isn't bad, it's a generic foam roller, but like I said, the density of the foam is pretty, there's no resilience into that. So, for me to work my forearm, okay, to loosen off all the flexors through here, especially to open up and loosen up the hand, I've got to put a lot of force into this movement, okay, to try and get any sort of release in that. And also the contours of this and the matrix pattern on this doesn't suit this type of, movement pattern, because they're all sporadically put over in that sense, and it's not going to hit. You've got two different contours here of different sides. So moving around here, I have to put a lot of pressure in, and because the foam is giving, I'm not actually feeling anything really from there. I mean, it does an all right job, but it's not specifically hitting the right areas. Now, then this is where the performance foam roller comes into play. Now, because of the three different grades of the matrix pattern, obviously we've got our zone 1 here, our zone 2 and zone 3. I would predominantly probably stay with zone 1 to start with, and then maybe go into zone 2, probably not hit zone 3. Now, if you have a look, this is designed for palm width, okay? So it works ideally for the forearm from this position. So me placing my arm onto there, because this is actually high density EVA, I don't have to put a lot of pressure. So it saves me from using a lot of muscle energy, a lot of tension through my arms, which we're trying to release. So every time that you put your arm down, you're trying to push really hard, I'm causing a contraction through my shoulders, I'm tightening up everything, stabilizes in my shoulder. So yeah, I might be getting a release from the forearm a little bit, but I'm trying to then load. But with this, I don't have to put much load in. And then working with zone 2, from that point there, it really works in getting into the grooves of those flexors from that position. And it's a really good, unique exercise. Okay, again, emphasis on, if you're loading one area, it's going to tilt, okay? So I would come into the inner part of that zone there, but I don't have to put a lot of pressure on. So unless you're right at the end and putting too much pressure on, it's going to flip. But it won't do, okay, if you just apply the right amount of force. And you don't have to do a lot, and you can internally and externally rotate the hand, palm up, working through the forearms there. If you're finding a little nodule from that position. And it works great through that movement pattern.
Effect. So that allows us to warm up the muscle, but more importantly, it allows you as a self-massage session to actually feel where those adhesions, where those knots, and where the tightness around the muscles are. You can actually run the length of your limb, like your hamstrings, for example, as you can see in this video. You can see that I'm pushing that through the whole muscle belly, and then I can find out exactly where I want to work on with trigger point release work. So then I would move over to these other two zones, zones 2 and zone 3, and we have these teeth and these kind of nodules here where we can start getting into those adhesions, getting